Welcome to the Happy Homestead, and today we will be canning beans. I've got my beans that I've snapped here, and I'm going to wash them before I put them in my jars. You want to get any dirt off of them, any little dried up blossoms that have been sticking to them off of there. You want to get this nice and full. Just use cool or lukewarm water. You don't need to use hot water. You want to work them around in the water. Loosen up any dirt, anything else that might be on the beans. Get them good and clean. And then we're going to drain them. You can use a colander if you wish. This is how I do it. All right. I've already packed some of my jars. I'll show you how I pack these, and I like to use the wide mouth jars, but you can use the regular size also. I'm going to put some beans in. I'm going to shake them, get them down in there good, get air pockets out. And you add a few more. I find that typically I can get 400 to 450 grams of beans, probably closer to 415 grams of beans into 1 quart jar most of the time. You can push down a little bit, get them snug in there. We want to leave 1 inch of head space for these. I will take a look from the side here. Usually you want it right below this lip that's right here. This is about 1 inch. You do not want to overfill, because that could lead to a poor seal or a failed seal, and you don't want that. That's going to waste your product. So I have these packed down. I will continue filling these jars in a minute, but I'll just show you that what I do is I use 1 teaspoon of salt. Whoops, approximately, for every quart. And I will do this for all of these. I can fit 7 in my canner. So I will finish filling the jars and adding the salt, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, I have my jars filled and I have salt in them, 1 teaspoon of salt per quart. Now we have boiling water here. It's starting to boil, and we are going to add water to each of these jars up to the 1 inch, and I'll just show you here how I do one of them. And you're going to want to check for some air bubbles. There'll be some air bubbles when you rotate and shake. There'll be some air bubbles sometimes come up. I'm going to get water in all the little spaces in there. And there we go. I got it it to the 1 inch. Looks good. See, a few more air bubbles. It looks pretty good. So you put your lid on, fingertip tight, and you put it in your canner. I'm using the Presto pressure canner, and it says to put 3 quarts of water and 2 tablespoons of vinegar in the canner. I can fit 7 quarts in here. We want to have the water hot in here while we're putting our jars in. And once I fill everything else up, I will show you what we do next. Okay, we have our canner filled with our jars. I have 7 quarts in here. I have my water turned up on high, and I'm going to put my lid on. For this canner, I need to make sure that this little emergency release valve works, is loose. I need to make sure that this is nice and loose, and I need to check this hole in the light and make sure there's nothing blocking it. Those are our 3 areas that we need to check. And then we also want to check our seal here, our gasket, and make sure it's a nice one, it's not warped, it's not cracked, because that's what helps to hold all the moisture in and give you a good seal so you can get good pressure. With pressure canning, you do not need to pre-sterilize your jars before filling, because everything's going to be killed off in this process. It gets very high temperature. It kills even the spores that will cause botulism. So, there's a certain way to put this on. You have 2 arrows. You line them up, and then you slide it, and you have it turned all the way up, and it's going to start heating and building pressure. And I'll come back in a little bit when we're ready for the next step. Okay, so it's been a little over 10 minutes, and we're on high heat, and we're seeing some steam coming up out of the vent there. So it's getting pretty steady now, and I'm going to put the timer on for 10 minutes, and it needs to run like that. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, and we've had a good steady stream of steam coming through the vent hole here, and I was able to back the temperature on the stove down just a little bit. We don't want to overdo it with the steam coming out. We don't want to lose too much water, but a good steady stream of it is what you're looking for. And now that that's done, I'm going to place the weights on top. I'm using 10 pounds of pressure because I am not too high above sea level. If you're over 1,000 feet on sea level, you'll want to use 15 pounds typically. You should always follow your canner. It has a guide. It tells you exactly what to use for every single fruit, vegetable you want, how much time, how much pressure. I'm going to place this on top, and now the cover lock just popped up, so this is now locked, and you couldn't open it if you wanted. That's to protect you from everything just exploding out everywhere. We don't want that. You don't want to get burned. So once this starts to rock and make sounds like this, we will put it on for 25 minutes. I'm turning the heat back up, and as soon as this starts making its little rocking motion, I'll put 25 minutes on. And once it's on, then it'll go, and then I will take it off the heat once the 25 minutes is up, and I'll show you what you do next. Okay, now we have gone almost 25 minutes here, and you can see what's going on here. Our weight is rocking and little bit of steam out. Now I'm going to turn this off, and we're going to move to a unit that is cooler, taking it off the hot burner, and it will start to slow down. And we're not going to do anything else with this until this lock goes down. Right now it's up. Once it falls, then we're going to take this weight off. And then you want to wait 10 minutes after you've taken this weight off before you think about opening the canner. You want to let all that pressure just slowly release on its own. We don't want an explosion. We don't want liquid pouring out of our jars and ruining our product. So this is how we're doing it. And we will come back when we are ready to open. Okay, now we're going to open this. The lock popped down about 10 minutes ago, and I let it continue venting. Once I removed the weight, I let it continue venting for another 10 minutes as per instructions. So I'm going to take the lid off. And there's our beans. And as they cool, they will start to do their sealing, and you will hear a lot of pop, pop. That's your jar sealing. And hopefully we get all 7 to seal. And they look great. Nobody broke. That's important. You don't want a broken jar. And I think we will have success. Thank you for watching, and this has been Canning Beans.